co-founder, Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino. Well, I didn't have to edit the camera settings once it started. That's 2 live streams in a row. Looks like it might be fixed. Welcome, 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 everybody. By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing the bell, and hitting the like button. We don't need to dwell on that because you've heard it a million times. Okay. So we got a little pausing day, a little brief respite from the strong move up, not quite to 4,800. What was the exact high today? 47.98, just missing the 4,800. Still watching for this 4,800 cluster tomorrow. Let's see. With this pause, though, I'm going to update our key levels. You can see the really nice pause on this 4-hour chart. So what I am going to do is take a bunch of these levels, the most recent levels, and we already know 4,800 is the cluster. So I'm going to update a bunch of these. Not this longer term one, but all these levels are going to get updated to right here. So we have some ideas. See, we still have that 4808, 4804, 4808 levels in place. So that's going to be our first target for tomorrow. What's going to be our bullish line in the sand is going to be about 47.83, staying above there. Now, we did stay above the bullish line in the sand pretty much most of the day, but there wasn't a lot of great trading patterns. And you see we're holding the 4-hour rotation zone. Here's the 1 hour just dipping below, but it's gone flat. So when I see things go flat, I also start watching nearby key support elements, which was right this 47.75. And then the longer term rotation zone, that 4-hour rotation zone. So the 1 hour, we're just going to essentially ignore for now and focus on the 4-hour. Let's take a look at the little shorter term trading things. There was, let's see, on the S&P, let me show you a couple things here. There was this little mini double bottom down here today. Just pointing these out. These are short-term things, and this is days when I see this kind of price action, especially off the open, it's best to sit on your hands and wait for strong signals. And other than that, don't do anything unless you're really good at quick in and out trading using key intraday levels. This is definitely not a trend day. I mean, yesterday, see the difference between trading this and trading this is night and day. So this takes a lot of work. Is actually days like this, you might as well, if you're just trading something like the S&P, or even if a stock does that, learn to sit on your hands. So here's this little mini double. You can see here coming up, hitting the targets. That was a good signal. And then we still have another one I'm going to point out. This technically qualifies on the 15-minute chart as a double. I'm just going to put this on to watch it overnight, and I'm going with the aggressive targets based off this volatility. And you see, this is the move that started it. Even if you think that this move started it, you know, you're roughly there. If you went with the conservative targets, I'm just going with the aggressive targets and really focus on this 47.90 area. And that's just short term to watch during the Asian session. Hey, Dan Jet96, glad you are here. Thank you for the comment. So that's the only other thing. Other than that, what I really do like is when you get a pause. See, we're not yet in overbought condition, but when we get a pause, and I updated the harmonic levels already. And here, so we're going from this low on the 20th up to the high, today's high. And as long as this is pausing above, on a closing basis above 1763, I watch for follow-through breakouts, especially above the prior high. And those are pretty good signals to jump on, because if it just pauses and holds above the 12.5% retracement level, and then breaks out, that was the correction. So they're pretty strong signals. So that's what I will be keeping an eye on. Now, if we drop down tomorrow and break below today's low, even if we break below this 47.63 area but close above it, that's still a sideways pause to me. First area that you should watch, though, let's go through the pullback levels first. Say I put on that 47.75, 47.76 area. We start dropping below there. I'm going to watch that 12.5% level I just talked about, 47.6325. Below there, I'm all the way back down to the bottom of the rotation zone, about 47.37, but that will keep rising. Below 47.37, I'm watching right around 47.22 to about 47.16. And let's see where that fits with the daily. 47.22 to 47.16. And that's in front of then the next major level is about 47.08. My line in the sand right now is 4,700. Based off how close it got to 4,800, don't want to see it drop back below 4,700. Now let's review the upside. So if we resume to tomorrow after today's pause gave of this, let me go to short-term charts. There's really not a lot we can do besides this little double targets. But your key area to watch for, as long as it's above this 47.82 area I'm watching for, your next key area that you're going to want to see, and if you want to try to jump on a possible breakout early, 47.95. You want to see you break above that and then hold that like on a 5 or 15-minute basis. Above there, we have that 404 to 408. I'm going to be keying a little more off of that 408 area. Yeah, well, that's from that pausing bar. So 408. And then we have 419.25. Then we have a major cluster 48.33 to about 48.36. Then we have a ton of cluster up 48.66, 48.67, 48.74. So those are all my levels. These minor levels, I would be ratcheting up stops and look to possibly take some profits, you know, around this 47.32 to 36 area, and then definitely unwind something around this this triple cluster up here. So that's the S&P. The NASDAQ definitely got that pausing bar. Also have the retracements on here, and look at this. Let's go down to the shorter term chart. Where is this? We're right there. Look at that's a 12.5% level. So this is a beautiful kind of setup when you see this, because it gives that red bar closing just above that 12.5% level. So if this can get the rotation up tomorrow and break above the highs, then let me update these levels. Then the target is the most recent, the 16,767, and then above that we have a double cluster. I just target 16,800. We have 16,798 and 16,805, so I'd be targeting 16,800. And above that, now we have another double cluster, 16,927 to 16,951. If we start dropping back down, you can see just closing into the 4-hour rotation zone. But if we drop back down, watching that 25% level with the 4-hour moving average, 4-hour rotation zone, coming in 16,367 area, dropping below there. I'd have to be going on about 16,300. Then below there, I just watched the daily rotation zone, 16,250, but that would not be good boding for the end of the year, because we couldn't get above this prior key open on a closing basis, and then it fell back and closed into major consolidation and congestion again. But the upside levels, let me get my bullish area for tomorrow. Bullish area for tomorrow. Gonna get it back above about 16,570. Above 16,570, we'll be watching bullish mode. This is not a good double bottoming pattern right here. It's not that strong. This was the warning sign this morning though, this double top pattern with the pullback. So that was the first warning sign once it broke down here right before the open, and then the continued sell off into the open. And there was just nothing really to do on the NASDAQ. So key areas I'm watching tomorrow, we get above this 16,570. I'm watching then for a retest of today's highs, and we get above there. I'm watching for a run to hit the highs back from November 22nd. See, mini Dow. Mini Dow. This was the nice strongest. This stayed in bullish mode all day. There wasn't a lot of great patterns in here though. This is choppy back and forth. Sometimes when it's like this, you know, unless you're long off some momentum off the open or the European session, here's some momentum off the open. And then, but you know, even this. A little reversal here. Did this, let me check one thing. No, that didn't go. I checked that earlier. That was not a double top. It just missed. So that's why there was no trade there for that. And it just stayed choppy back and forth. Tomorrow, bullish line in the sand. I got to get it up back above about 636, 336 to really get in bullish mode tomorrow. And this is just, I gotta clean up some of these other, let's redo some of the levels here. Let's redo some of the levels. All right. We're going off the swing from these lows, coming up here with our harmonics. And then the most recent swing is right here, since we have this nice pause. So if we can get above this 36,408, yep. I'm watching for 36,489, 36,570, 36,641. Then above that, we have, and we don't have a lot of key things lining up. The Dow's been tricky lately. 36,761 to 36,829. Also, you see here on the Dow holding above that 12.5% down. We didn't really get a good pausing bar there on the daily. So this is the aggressive mode for me is more in the S&P tomorrow if it breaks above today's highs. Support on the Dow, I'm keying off a 4-hour. First little level is about 36,200. If we drop below that, watching 36.38 from yesterday, and then we're back down to about 35,970 area. 35,970, don't really want to see a move below that. If we did drop below that, about 35,800. So those are all the key levels for the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. Hey, Wavy. Oh, it's okay. You have lots of stuff going on. I had a super busy day today, so I wasn't in Discord much at all. And there wasn't anything going on with Tesla, at least. And the S&P was just a choppy mess. There was not a lot of great trading in those today. So, anything else we should look at? Let me see here. I got to update crude. Coming up to that next harmonic, that 62.5, that 70. I pointed out that 76.79. Still can't close above that, so still keep paying attention to 76.79. Above that, oh, look at that beauty, a thing of beauty, a thing of beauty. Oops, didn't want that one. I wanted this one. That's not going to give me much more information other than what we already have. So if we can finally get above the 76.92 area, major cluster 78.73, 80.54. 80.54. So that's where it sits up there. And crude, remember, you still have this little mini gap up there, but it's still remaining in bullish mode. On a pullback, I'm watching about 73, 74 bucks. With the cut rising daily rotation zone, that would be slightly in the daily. No, I'm going to raise that. I'm watching 74.38 as holding key support. 74 to 74.38 is my key support area on there. We will take a look at AMD. AMD, little reversal right off the 75 gap, opened at 75%, and then hold it still above the 62.5. So this is still in bullish mode, but you got the pausing bar there. That's nice because now we can do the, there you, oh, thing of beauty again. I love this. Above 156.73, you have a major cluster. 160 is next target. 163.26 to 164.46 to the upside. Key support in AMD. If you do break below this 151.76 today, but you see that little harmonic holding nicely, you can watch about 150. And then 150, where you don't want to close below, is back below about 147.50. 147.50, you don't want to see it close back below that because that would be back into the consolidation area. So that's AMD. Sorry, I think we're getting a delivery and the dogs are barking. How do you define a pausing bar? Well, it depends on a time frame. A pure definition would be this, Wavy. Let me put that in there. A pure definition of a pausing bar is an opposite colored bar that the following bar does not exceed the high. Hello, Amit. So this is a pure definition. So this would be a pausing bar on the 4-hour. And tomorrow on the daily, you'd have a pausing bar confirmed if this the next tomorrow's bar did not exceed the high. An aggressive pausing bar is this, which I will use, but it's also a pausing bar on the 4-hour, so I will use that as a key level to do projections on. I prefer daily pausing bars, but if I can only get a 4-hour pausing bar, then I'm going to use it. All right. And then a really aggressive pausing bar would have to be like this. And that's when I'll use it when I don't have any other options. You see this one right in here? See how green, green, green? And then I'm just pointing this out. This would be my pausing bar, of course, right here. But if, let's just pretend this bars didn't happen, and I just had this green, red, green, I can still use this for intradays, but those are the lowest. They're still decent probabilities, but they give the weakest projections, because this could have been a pausing bar on a 1-hour or maybe even a 4-hour. But there, here's another great pausing bar. You see this one? Pausing bar. And it doesn't have to be a red bar. You can do this with a correction bar like this. If this had been red, it would have been stronger. But this, you see 2 bars don't come anywhere near these highs. That can be used as a great pausing bar. So, and all right, this bar in front of this one, you see here, this green, even though it's in consolidation, we got a red inside bar. So the peak of this bar would become the pausing bar, not the inside bar. You'd want to project from those highs. There's a bunch of rules for pausing bars, but that's enough summary of what you need. Let's see, we want BABA and SQ. Again, BABA still can't get above the rotation zone. This is, if this drops below this low, no longer a potential double bottom. Other than that, there's not much going on. I mean, if it starts dropping below this, I'd be watching for a retest of the low area. And since it has not triggered the double and cannot get really into that rotation zone, the rotation zone is just holding it down. If you break below 108.70, this is where you use the reverse harmonics, 106.11 and 103.51. And then the bigger swing, let's just see if we get a stronger level on that. We're going to go right. This is the swing that started it. About 101.05 and then 93.39. So until this can shift, now if it doesn't break below this low on December 20th and rotates back up, you still have a potential double in play, although it is getting sloppier and sloppier. Key level, even if you start rallying, I'd be watching about this 125 area. Other than that, there's nothing going on from the bullish side yet. There's nothing. Nothing going on in SQ either yet. Has not been able to get the close in the daily rotation zone. I, again, will be watching about this 170.50 anyways. You get a close above 170.50, I'd watch for a run towards this other side of the rotation zone. Right now it's about 181, 180.50. Other than that, there's just nothing. No potential double yet. If this comes down here again, we might have a potential double bottom. So I don't look at this every day. If you see it come down here and form a potential double, let me know and we will chart it out. That's too close to do a reverse harmonic. So if we do break below this low, 157.57, 152.86, 148.14. But also keep in mind with square, even on any rally, you're against the weekly rotation zone, you're against the daily rotation zone, you're against the 4-hour rotation zone. And here again, even if you get to neutral on the 4-hour rotation zone, you're at 171.50 area. I need to close above that to even get to neutral, but then you're still fighting the daily and weekly rotation zones. What that means is on any bullish moves, you have to aggressively move up the stop because this could roll over at the weekly rotation zone again and or at the daily rotation zone before then. So aggressive plays to the upside have to be managed tightly because you don't want to get in something, have it come up here, not move up stops, and then roll over and head to new lows. That was just because you already have the warning that the rotation zones are against you. They are in bearish mode. So this has got some work to do to prove itself. Doesn't mean you can't take a long play if you get a valid long play, especially if we got a nice little double bottom pattern, but you still have to aggressively move up your stops. Don't take it for granted. Peloton. I did not look at Peloton. I did ride my Peloton. I wouldn't call it destroyed. I'm still watching this for a bottoming pattern. This is getting so bearish at this point. I don't have a bottoming pattern yet. Watch run this 33.87, 33.54 to 33.87 cluster. That's a pretty strong cluster. If it drops below that, then we could easily see 29.50 area. But if it drops below that, and then if we drop below that, I'm watching these all-time lows, and we already have a harmonic projection down there. So again, this is in bearish mode on the daily, bearish mode on the weekly, bearish mode on the 4-hour. So until you get a strong bottoming pattern, this is just drifting down, just drifting down. So I don't have anything yet on this. I wouldn't call it getting destroyed. It's just in the slow bleed. This is just bleeding. There's nothing to do here. There might be at some point, but nothing to do here yet. Anything else, anyone? Let's just see if there's anything. Let's just peek in at gold. Gold could not hold this level again. I'm still watching the daily. This 1803, 1800, 1803. We start getting back down below there. We're back into this major consolidation, so nothing to do then. Again, silver looked like it just put in a topping bar, so I'm watching this rotation zone about 2280 to see if it can hold there and rotate back up. Hey, Raj. How you doing? Yeah, a lot of folks bottom fishing. There are so many amazing opportunities out there in healthcare, home builders, semis, and so on. That's why you don't. That's a very good point. Thank you for putting that in the chat. That is an excellent point that people don't trade stuff that's not doing anything. Really, there's good things going on. You don't have to be trading stuff. I mean, we've been in Microsoft. Microsoft got a little pause today, but this is really nice. If you can get above today's high in Microsoft, I'm watching for a run to 347 and 350. Nice little play there. Even on a pullback, 335. See if we get some kind of re-entry signal rotation up. That's been okay trading. AMD, that was called out before by Wavy, could be really good tomorrow. You know, what else? Here's one you don't want to be in right now. mRNA. See if you're in like healthcare or other stuff. This is one to avoid. Why? It's a bunch of crap right now, stuck in this range, breaking down. So that's one you avoid. You find a good healthcare, then you're in that. But that's not it. Versus, Pfizer, which we've triggered this double top, and so far holding at the 50%. But if this comes back, this 56 area, and then we get a possible entry signal, that could be something very interesting in Pfizer. Although I'd prefer to even drop down closer to weekly and reset and then take a weekly play off that. It's still overextended. But there are some plays in here. There's there are opportunities. There wasn't a ton today. We had finally got a nice little pause, but we get a resumption of stuff. Again, Nvidia not doing much. Nvidia is still stuck in this thing, but if we can in this mess, I don't have a strong signal in the Nvidia yet. Let's take a look at some of these others. Facebook coming up, couldn't get to that 353 level. Still, we got the buy signal triggered back on the 21st. I'm just going to be watching to see if this defining point still holds. We don't have a redraw yet. And then above here, if we do get a break above this, you see this, we have one top, two top, three top, four top, all in the same area. If we do get above that, then I'm watching for that 360.42. Let's take a look at some of the, here you go. Here we go. UNH. Let's go through them. Let's go through some Raj plays. I haven't looked at United Healthcare in a while. Yep, that came really down. I was watching this. We got this nice little bottoming back here and a longer term buy signal back on November 23rd, and then back to the daily rotation zone coming up. This, as long as it's trending up, you can do. It's getting overextended though on the weekly, but you got to trade with the trend until it ends. We have some divergence setting up, so I'd be careful establishing a new long up here. But on a pullback, there we could get another buy signal. The last buy signal on this one was though back on the 23rd, back off the 50 with this reversal bar and a percent B buy. Let's see, Anthem. What did I? There it is. Did you mean this one instead of ANTH? I think you meant Anthem, Raj. Because that's also been really nice. Getting again, these are getting overextended. This had a weekly buy off a percent B and weekly rotation zone back on December 6th, right here. If it pulls back, this could be another strong area to watch for on healthcare. 438. I don't have anything right now since it's way off the rotation zone. You can make, and in front of that, if we do get a pullback there, HCA. It would just give some ideas for stuff. HCA, HCA is not one of my favorites, but there's your target, the upside. That's actually a nice target. I'm just looking. I did not get a good buy signal on this. Let me check out the weekly. That's looking really toppy to me. But next run up, I'd be watching 260.79 and 264.79. WST. I'd be watching for a pullback in this. I don't have anything in here yet. I'd be watching for a pullback, 457 to about 455. Let's see. I'm just looking at stuff. DHR. Raj put those out there. Let's go through them. DHR could be interesting if it can get back above about this 328.50 area. Other than that, we're still in this sort of sideways congestion. But if it can break to the upside above there, I'd be starting to get more interested in this. It's holding the weekly rotation zone. Let's see. Not sexy like Peloton. Some transports. We want to look at some. Hey, Josh. Can't wait for the course. Hopefully next year. Yes, this will be. I'm working on it. We went over. We went over that already, William. We already went over that. You'll have to watch some of the replay. UNP. Ooh. Yeah, I've played. We've had this one in our portfolio. Of the last buy signal on this one was back in the week of the 4th on a weekly basis. That was the last good weekly buy signal. The last daily buy signal was on the 22nd of December, running up. This again, I'm waiting for a slightly bigger pullback on this to reestablish what could be a weekly buy signal. Let's see, CSX. Yep, there's another transport. CSX has not had a good buy signal since October 4th on the weekly, and on a daily, we had one back on December 21st. So those were the two good days in that. CSX targets for me right now are, I'd be watching this 3808 area. By the way, this was an amazing double bottom down there earlier back at, we had a weekly buy signal and also a double bottom back down there. That's where some of the great plays you don't get to revisit anytime soon. Just want to double check something. Yep, that harmonic. I'm still watching this 3808 to 3819. NSC. Have not looked at NSC in a long time. Again, there's a nice double play there. NSC. Thanks for throwing out all these transports. I don't normally cover a lot of transporters on here, but you break above this 296.06 area, which is pretty key. Retesting this high area, you go into clear space 303.24, 310.42. We'll take a look at a couple more. JBHT. JBHT, interesting, breaking two on the closing basis yesterday to new highs. Let's see. This will get us roughly where we're going. I'll be watching about 207.23 and maybe a pause up there to reassess. But let's see when we had a buy signal on a daily basis on the 21st of December. Rider is only going to be interesting to me. Let's check the weekly. Ugh. Rider's only going to be interesting to me if it can get back above about this 83.40 area. Other than that, wouldn't do anything with Rider. What's GXO? GXO. Be interesting to see if this support area holds, this 90 level support area. But I'd play some of these other ones before these last two, before Rider and GXO. But thanks for all those, Raj. Thanks for throwing those out. So anytime anybody wants to throw out stuff like Raj did, especially stuff we don't normally cover, please do. And we'll get some people might get some good investment or trading ideas off of it. And just because you're here, William, there's your Boeing. Holding right here, rotating back up. Still, you got your potential double here. And once this gets above this, it's held. You're going to get back to bullish mode in the daily on Boeing. That double's coming right in at this. I mean, don't pay much attention to the weekly rotation zone because it's flattening out, but that's right at that double target. So I'm still watching that. Sure, we'll take a look at. Thank you, Raj. I'll take a look at that. Thank you. I'm glad to do it. I mean, this is just to help people really, take a look. Amazon. Not much has changed for me. I'm still 34.47, 34.50 area. I want to see a break above there and it to really hold. See, this was a break above there, but so once you get above there, I watch for a retest and the rotation up, and you see it just collapsed right through there. You can see there, did not even a retest and a rotation. So if you're playing this intraday, watch that 347, 350 area, and if you want to play it intraday, you want a break and then a retest. So you want something like this. Let's see. I want to break above, and let's draw out some lines. Then I want to see a pullback like this. Hold on. A pullback, retest that area. It doesn't have to be exactly that area, and then a move, like that. Then a move like this to confirm somewhere around that 347 to 350 area. That's my first sign that it could be breaking out on a daily basis. Hold on. Oops, there we go. There we go. So that's my key area on Amazon. If we get above there, then I will start getting in more bullish mode. I'll be starting to watch for a close above about 34.68. Get a close above 34.60. I'm targeting 35.25, 35.26. Then above there. This is no longer a potential double bottom because it's a triple sloppy mess, though. But then above there, 35.25, and then I'd just be going to my 3600 again. Real quick thing is if you get above this 34.47, 34.50 area, you don't want to close back below about 33.80. So you could keep a pretty decent stop there. Because if you get a close above here, it sucks people in, and then you go back below this 34.80. It was a failed little mini breakout, and we are going back below the 200, and I'll be watching for lower price action, especially down to 32.86. Yeah, we already looked at BAVA too. You're just a little late to the party, William. So it's in the beginning. After I get through the Dow, I think we looked at BAVA and Square. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up for today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all those great stock suggestions. Hope some people got some ideas, and you see how we can quickly go through things, analyze it. And like Raj says, I'm going to put this comment back up there. This is a great little comment from Raj. A lot of people bottom fishing when there are so many amazing opportunities out there in healthcare, home builders, semis, and we looked at different things. Some I liked, some I didn't like, but that's part of doing the analysis. And make trading's tough enough as it is. So do your best to make it easy. You find things that are trending or things with great reversal signals. Now, if you don't have to bottom fish, but if you get a great bottoming pattern, like a great double bottom pattern we cover all the time on here, you can take a shot at something. But other than that, don't just try to. First off, don't try to catch falling knives. Second of all, if stuff's just bleeding its way down, like we looked at Peloton, you don't have to trade Peloton. Peloton, it might bottom at some point, and we'll watch for that. But find something that's trending. Raj gave got great ideas. So thanks, Raj, again, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye for now.